I am Ferdinand Marcos, and I am the President of the Republic of the Philippines. I stand today on behalf of 110 million Filipinos.
Ito naman ho mga projects natin related to public transportation. Yan, kaliban ba pagbibigay ng pagpapaunlad ng ating train systems, mga rails, sa EDSA busway, pagpapa-improve ng operations, ng service. Is this a signal of our broader national transport policy na gusto ho natin maging commuter-centric na tayo at hindi na car-centric masyado?
Wala na, I think yung tawag mo car-centric. We've taken it as far as we can. And we've seen examples around the world. Yung mga lugar na talagang sumobra ng traffic dahil lahat ng tao, walang public transport, walang bus, walang train, walang subway. Eh, syempre lahat kailangan bumili ng sasakyan. Bibili ng motor, bibili ng auto. Kaya nakaka-traffic ng gusto. So that's why we are continuing to make it more efficient. We are continuing to add assets as it were, not just additional lines, which was, of course we are doing, pero pati na yung rehabilitate ng tinatawag na Dalian cars na hindi nagamit ng gaano katagal mula nung nabili, 10 years old already, hindi pa nagamit. Ngayon pa lamang nagagamit, inayos-ayos, pwede naman palang i-modify para nagamit dito sa Pilipinas. So that will be added capacity. Pati mga kalsada, ginagawa natin. Ngayon lang tayo magkakaroon na tayo ng subway. Ngayon pa lang, this is the first time that we have a subway here in the Philippines. These are solutions that so that life will be a little easier, so that life will be more convenient, going to work. Ang usually sa planning, dapat ang commute should not be more going to work at saka pag-uwi. Dapat hindi yung one way hindi dapat lumampas sa isang oras. That's the goal.
Nung nilaunch yung eGov Super App sa San Juan,
Yeah.
you were encouraging even the seniors,
Yes.
your fellow seniors,
Yes.
na
Ikaw naman.
madali lang. Kanyo, madali lang ikanin nyo.
Madali lang talaga.
It's
Yeah.
easy to navigate. Why the push? Kapansin-pansin po yung push ninyo, even yung mga halimbawa, serbisyo ng PhilHealth, naka-link na siya na dapat naka-register ka sa eGov app. Why the push?
Because that's the only way to do it. You cannot operate in 2025 na kinakamay-kamay mong forms, pupunta ka sa opisina, you take 3 days, 3 araw, kasi akala mo tapos na yung dokumento mo, hindi, may kulang pa ito, pumunta ka doon, tapos lalapit na yung fixer, the whole experience, the whole bad experience. So, that doesn't work anymore. And if we are to compete as a country, as an economy, kailangan natin makipagsabayan. And look at China, how digitalized China is. We have to be at that level. You look at Singapore, look at Korea. Ito yung mga karatig bansa natin. These are the people we do business with. So to be able to do business with them properly, we need to digitalize. But digitalization is not only for business or education. It's absolutely imperative now that children know how to use a computer, they know how to use the internet, and they know how to do work on the internet. Hindi na pwedeng hindi. It's not an option anymore.
And are you satisfied with eGov, the app?
Yes.
Do you actually use it for actual transactions?
Sure.
Kasi halimbawa may mga dati may hotline tayo, tawag kayo, pero wala sumasagot.
Yun, mga ganun.
Ba?
Oo.
Ito hong eGov, pwede nyo bang itaya yung pangalan ninyo, gamitin nyo, it works?
Because unang-una, sinasabi, walang sumasagot doon sa telepono. Wala nang tao talaga. Wala nang tao. You don't talk to a person. You just do lahat ng gagawin mo digitally. I made sure nung sinusulat pa yung code dyan. Ang test ko lagi, ang sinasabi ko, kailangan isimple ninyo. Kailangan napakadali. So, tumingin kami, we did a little study. There are 89 million Filipino Facebook users. So sabi ko, dapat yung app natin, yung eGov app natin, kung kaya mo mag-Facebook, kaya mo mag-eGov app. So, hindi na kailangan masyadong turuan. What is now, ang kailangan lang natin gawin ngayon ay ipaalam sa tao, kami ganito. Huwag na kayong pupunta sa opisina. Yung mga nakakatanda, yung mga hindi masyadong sanay sa computer, kahit na grade school, alam na nilang gawin yan eh. So,
Ang naiisip ko halimbawa, this farmer from
yes.
from Tarlac, for example, or Pangasinan, na walang access siguro sa internet o walang access sa mga smartphones. Paano kaya sila?
Matututo sila because tuturuan sila. We will have to educate our people. But again, 89 million, that's a good majority already of Filipinos who can. Halimbawa, may magsasaka, hindi talaga walang pagkateki. Yung anak niya, kaya niya turuan. Kaya siyang turuan. But they have to know that it is available.
So far, napag-uusapan ho natin yung mga nabanggit ninyo sa SONA. Punta ako dun sa hindi nyo nabanggit. May mga lawmakers po and advocacy groups who have been urging stricter regulation or even a total ban on online gambling platforms. Andyan ho yung issue ng addiction, financial ruin among the vulnerable sector. Why was the issue of online gambling not included in your SONA?
Because we still have to form the policy on what we are going to do about online gambling. And to this end, I have already started to organize to convene a conference of those who are all the stakeholders. We are talking about marami tayong naririnig from the CBCP. So, sama natin sila, mga pare, mga obispo. The parents, of course, are stakeholders here kasi victimized demographic yung mga kabataan. Tapos, we have to talk to the people who will, kung magre-regulate tayo, who will be doing the regulation. The first effect of banning it fully is to put it underground. And then we have no control. Yan talagang wala na tayong regulation.
That was the same argument in banning POGOs. Ganon din po yung mga pinapalutang na argument doon. What makes this different?
Because this is not the criminal enterprise. The Pogo itself
Yes.
was not, walang problema.
Yeah. May mga lisensyado. Yes.
At saka yung kung meron online gaming, sige, mag-online gaming. Wala namang pera pumapasok dito sa Pilipinas, nandiyan sa labas lahat. Okay, so no problem. Sinabayan ba naman yung trafficking, ng credit card scam, kung ano-ano nang nangyayari, di ba? Yun ang naging problema. The illegal part of it. Which I'm glad you asked that question because it brings us to the same situation with online gambling in general. Because we have with online gambling in general, what is the problem we're trying to solve? What we're trying to solve is that hindi malubog sa utang ang hindi naman wala namang kaya pero napapasubo dahil sa sugal. Mga bata na natututo magsugal. Let's focus on that. Paano natin patitigilin yan? These are the things that we're going to examine and we will come up with a plan to make sure that we address the problem. The problem is not online gambling. The problem are the social effects on our children and those who are addicted to gambling.
So yun mga kababayan, narinig yung sinabi ng Pangulo. Sa impeachments niya naman, narinig naman po natin lahat yun. More in healthcare, education, sa projects, ng mga palpak. At narinig din natin na walang binanggit tungkol sa politika. So nakafocus talaga siya sa kapakanan ng mamayang Pilipino. Ngayon, narinig yun naman kung bakit hindi niya po in-include doon sa SONA niya tungkol dito sa mga online gaming na ito. Alam nyo, hindi naman kasi madali yan. Pag-aralan mabuti. Kaya, alam nyo naman kung anong sagot niya mga kababayan. So, malay nyo, no? Pagkatapos ng tawag dito? Pagkatapos ng pagsusuri nila dito sa online gaming na ito, yung iba kasi nalululong yung iba hindi na nag-aaralan dahil nandyan. So soon as possible tutugunan ng Pangulo yan, no? So yun mga kababayan, and this is part 2 ng kanyang podcast dito kay Ivan Mirina, no, ng GMA7. So diyan natin nakikita at naririnig yung mga reason bakit hindi nakasama sa SONA yung mga online gaming na yan. So mga best ang inyong komento tungkol dito? See you again on part 3. Thank you for watching. Bye 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 and baboos. God bless Philippines.